So I'm sitting in the toilet and I'm going pee. I know this is newsworthy. I don't know why. But I just wanted to let you know that everything's coming out okay.
I know I do like moisturizer from CVS. I can, I'm trying to remember the label.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I think I use those retinols, and I think that is not good during the dry winter months, right? Because that like causes your skin to peel more or something.
Hey ladies, I think I'm late. I'm a birthing person now.
Yeah.
Was it something I said?
You're watching Woke of the Week with MRC-TV and Culture. I'm what the New York Times calls your non-transgender female host, Justine Brooke Murray. Sometimes there's nothing left to say other than, what the f***? How the hell did our most extroverted perverts guilt trip an entire society into a twilight zone that flushes all common sense down the toilet?
Democrats, grow a spine, trans lives are on the line!
And upside down, that places our moral standards into the hands of society's most immoral narcissists.
To have a transgender child has made me so much more interesting.
Bored soccer mommies who are desperate for relevance to the point of minimizing their own children to some woke token they can show off like a rescue dog. How did an army of sexual degenerates and predators get an entire population on board with the notion that our healthy children are born wrong, that toddlers who haven't even been potty trained yet
may have known since they were 2 years old.
And there's no other option but to Frankenstein them or else...
She told them the same thing that she tells everybody, that I was deeply suicidal and that if they didn't let me transition, I would be at high risk for suicide.
But we can't ask those things without asking how and why did we willingly surrender our conscience and morals to a playground reality where affirming others' feelings is a medically life-saving procedure, and without it, you'll die. In general, mastectomy is for people who believe that they're a different gender. Should that be treated with the same medical urgency as mastectomy is for people who have breast cancer?
Yes.
It's the same medical emergency.
It is just as medically necessary.
We've accepted the terms that cosmetically mutilating the mentally ill is
life-saving, essential health care.
And with that, refusing to pay for somebody else's life-saving health care, no matter the procedure, is equivalent to murder. Murdering an innocent father in cold blood is therefore justified resistance.
People do want these executives dead.
As long as he's some rich guy you can blame for your shortage of free stuff, or your party's political opponent, or a Jew. A thug jumping out of the dark in a trendy section of Manhattan to shoot a man in the back and then speeding away on a bicycle like a wuss is, well, that's a hero.
It's my type.
That's who our pop culture celebrated for the past week. A punk who looks like he sits while he pees, executing a self-made 50-year-old who grew up in an Iowa farm town was a blow for the common man against the corporate empire. Leave it to the bored suburbanites to be this loser's biggest fan.
I do believe in the sanctity of life, and I think that's why I felt, along with so many other Americans, joy.
They're the same Montclair, New Jersey types who've likely never had the privilege of their life being flashed in front of their eyes as a salivating crackhead chases them down a subway platform. Yet, they still egged on an activist justice system that made a veteran's life a living hell for defending innocent passengers from a violent bum threatening to murder everyone. And when your innocence is so apparent that you are acquitted by the most liberal jury in the most liberal city, prosecutors stand idly as a mob threatens to retaliate against you.
People want to jump up and choke us and kill us for being loud? How about we do the same?
Just like they're demanding to lynch the McDonald's employee who dared to report their Marxist murderer.
I would never advocate for violence on my page, but it would be pretty funny if we beat the shit out of him, and then when he went to the hospital that if he was out of network and had to pay a huge bill, I think that would be funny.
as 20-year-old girls desperate to be edgy on the internet throw their panties at their new rock star.
This guy that did the assassination did it in a really sexy way.
The neckbeard underwear army sitting at home suddenly became healthcare experts, digging up for reasons to condone the murder of a guy from a company they probably never knew existed until last week. But just try asking them to briefly clarify. In under a minute, their reasoning will likely devolve into something along the lines of, nobody needs that much money. Why does anybody need that large of a salary? And despite it being inherently Marxist, don't be surprised to hear that justification preached on all sides of the political horseshoe. It's a loser-driven undertone that inspired history's most genocidal movements, from the French revolutionaries, Mao, and Pol Pot all shipping landlords off to the killing fields, to the Nazi extermination of Jews. Righteous fight for restitution begins by taking down a shadowy common enemy. In an act of projection, even our woke ditty types inadvertently call their own toxic movement out.
The best way to bring folks together is to give them a real good enemy.
But hold on, wait a minute. It turns out their new Marxist hero, labeled a person of interest, is not a working class victim out to fight the man. He's a product of privilege and money. And he's cut from the same cloth as the other spoiled Ivy League revolutionaries.
He's an Ivy League grad, did his undergrad and master's at Penn in computer science. That's my type.
Ah, yes. The same institutions who mommy and daddy paid over 65 grand per year, not for their adult children to learn how to spell, as you can tell from this toilet paper of a manifesto, but to raise a new generation of entitled dilettantes applauding themselves for breaking some new ground toward universal justice, when they're really marching down the same worn and bloody path marched by every other totalitarian regime. That wraps today's episode. Make sure you tune into my show every week, where I bring you the left's most insane moments and expose their latest attempts to weaken the West. Then hit the like on YouTube, plus on Rumble. Follow us on social media, comment below what you think, and don't cave to the leftist media agenda. If you like the work we do here at MRC, please consider donating at mrc.org/donate. It's the best way to help our movement. Thanks for joining us.